Today in the blog post, or if you're watching on YouTube, the video post, I just kind of wanted to talk about some things that I have found made my life completely easier. There have been weeks and months where I am all over the place. My energy's all over the place. So I'll end up waking up that day and planning on doing, say, like 14 things. And either I don't have enough energy to get it all done, or I wake up tired that day. And then just by the end of the day, you end up feeling like really disappointed in yourself, pretty much. So what I've been doing, and I've been doing this for a couple of months now, probably since October, and it is actually March right now. It has changed my life and made my life so much easier. So I just wanted to share these tips and kind of hope that they actually help you out with your planning. So every single Sunday, I take a look at where I am in my the menstrual cycle. So because I am a female, there are 4 different phases. You can be in the follicular phase, the ovulatory phase, the luteal phase, or the menstrual phase. And if you aren't mensing, but you do connect more to the female energy, or you are in menopause, you can look towards the moon, and I'll go over that within the blog and in a couple of minutes here as well. So I look at what phase I'm in for the week, because if your hormones are mostly balanced, you're going to have certain predictable patterns, right? And the best thing that you can do for yourself is to keep track of your patterns over 2 to 3 months, just so that you can get a feel for it. But I'll go over the gist shortly. So basically it's just energy management. Like, where is my energy going to be in the week? Am I going to have lower energy? Am I going to have higher energy? And then within those 4 phases, or the moon cycles, you can actually plan which tasks to do. And these are just like the extras. Because obviously, if you're running a household, there are things every week and every day that you have to do, such as dishes, cleaning the house, going to the grocery store. So we'll get into that. But I'm talking about the best things that you can do besides the bare minimum, what you have to do every day. So on Sundays, I also make appointments for the week. So these are appointments with other people, but also appointments with myself. So I know if I have to clean my house, it takes quite a few hours and it takes a lot of energy. I know if I have to go to the grocery store, that's taking up a couple of hours of my day as well. So I look at everything that I have to do for the week, and that's something that I will plan in to my calendar for the week on Sundays as well as meal planning, weather, and then I make a weekly to-do list. So those are the categories, the 4 categories that, the 5 categories that I look at every Sunday. So let's kind of break them down from here. So again, we're talking about what phase I'm in. If you are not a female, you either are a male or you identify with male energy. You have a 24-hour circadian rhythm, okay? But as a female, either if you are an actual female or you identify with females, we operate on a 28-day cycle with the moon. So let's just kind of go over an overview of the 4 phases of the menstrual cycle, but also I am going to be having a course on all of this very shortly, so I'll put the link in to sign up so that you can learn more if you feel called to. Many of us females, our hormones are out of balance, so you really do need your hormones in balance and to not be on a form of birth control to tap into these superpowers that we have when our hormones are balanced. But again, you can go off of the moon phases. So let's talk about the follicular phase. This would be springtime. Your energy is more creative, so you want to do things like starting new projects. If you have a business, you want to be writing your blog posts because you're creative here. You want to be doing creative types of projects. So if you have something such as painting or like sanding the deck, you want to be doing something like that. Your energy is supposed to be at its highest here, okay? Then we have the ovulation phase. So this is about 3 to 5 days of time. This would replicate the full moon or summer energy. So again, our energy is very high during this phase, and we want to be concentrating on more things that are about community and about communication. So if you own a business, giving speeches, giving webinars, making videos, this is a great time to meet up with family or girlfriends for a spa day or doing something where you're interacting with other people, but again, your energy should be at a higher level. Then we move into the luteal phase, which is would mimic the fall season. So during this, our energy gets lower, but it's not at its lowest. It just gets a little bit lower than the other two phases. And so we have lower physical energy, but we're more task oriented. So this is when you want to be making lists, you want to be cleaning your house more, you want to tackle projects like decluttering, you want to finish up what you started during the first half of your cycle, and you want to be planning for next month and your goals for that month. So a lot of planning, a lot of details, and finishing up. And then finally we end with the menstruating phase, or the new moon, or winter. And here we have the lowest energy. So it's more inward, it's yin, it's reflection on what is and isn't working for us, it's connecting to our intuition. But you really want to slow down during this 3 to 7 days, because your energy will be at its lowest, and it's best to honor your body. So I ask myself every Sunday where I'm going to be in my cycle for this week. It's easy to track. I use the MyFlow app and also the Clue app, so I kind of get an idea of where I am, but I do have a 30-day cycle, so not everyone is going to be the same. We can talk about norms and all that stuff another time, but that's the premise. So I can kind of plan for my energy, and if your hormones aren't balanced, your energy might not be where it should be. So that is something that you should be working on, and you can again sign up to be alerted on when my course will be completed, so that we can kind of talk about the 4 phases in detail, common struggles, herbs, flower essences, and everything to get you back in balance, and kind of how to honor your own feminine energy throughout every month, so you can keep your energy where in a cycle where it's predictable, and you can kind of plan your life around that. So let's get into the next step, which is appointments for the week. So again, we're talking about grocery store trips, we're talking about laundry days, we're talking about cleaning your house, and we're talking about appointments with other people, such as like doctors, dentists, phone calls with clients, lunches, whatever else that you have. So I would look at that for the week, and during those days during those days that you have an appointment, I would make your to-do list a lot smaller on that day. So I plan, like if I'm doing grocery shopping, I don't do anything else that day, because I don't have time for it. You probably don't have time for it. If I'm doing, I can slip in laundry during those days, but I can't fold it during the same day. There's just not enough time, which is fine, because I'm not planning to do that anyways. I know myself enough to know that me taking 2 to 3 hours to go to the grocery store or to clean my house, that's enough for the day, and I honor that, and I feel comfortable in it, and you shouldn't be pushing yourself. So again, on Sundays, make sure you get those blocks in for those days, and try not to plan too much more on those days. So I usually take 2 to 3 days of a block. So for example, every single Monday I go to the grocery store, so my to-do list will be a lot less than that day. Every Friday I actually go to my dad's house and clean his house. So on Friday I tend to not schedule anything until the end of the night. So somehow I fit laundry in there during one of the days, and then depending on which day I clean my house, if it's on the weekend, that's a whole different story. But let's get into, I'm going to actually skip around. So if you're reading the blog post, I'm going to move down to weather just to make a point here. Also on Sundays, I look at the projected weather for the week, because if it's raining, I also know I'm going to have lower energy. I have high energy when it is sunny outside, and also too, even if it's freezing. I live in Massachusetts, it can be a 9-degree day, but if the sun's out, I feel a lot more motivated. So it's kind of also too like knowing where your downfalls are. I have a couple of friends where if it's raining, they get more energized. So this is getting to know your body. This is getting to know your patterns. It's great just to keep an energy log for 2 to 3 months and put what phase you're in, what cycle you're in, or what moon phase that you're in, and also what season too. So a lot of the times during the spring here, because it's raining a lot, I don't get as much done. So it's more of an inward time for me, as opposed to the winters. Besides this last winter in Massachusetts, they're relatively sunny. So even if it's cold, I spend a lot more time getting stuff done. And then obviously during the summer, I get the most done. I'm outside, I'm foraging, I'm making flower essences, a lot of outdoor activities, but getting to know your body is what is so important. And it's just, it's intelligent to do so, because we should be working in patterns where you're not setting yourself up to fail if you get to know your body and just honor the fact that on certain days you're not going to get as much done. But that's okay, because on other days of the week or in other times of your menstrual cycle, you can get more done. So it's really not a big deal. It's just being easy on yourself, recognizing your energy patterns, and that's it. You don't have to beat yourself up because you can't get shit done all the time. It's really not a big deal, and we kind of have to accept that as a society that we're kind of honoring the downtime and the self-care and the yin aspects of things, so that we don't get to a point where we are burnt out. Again, like that's just where I kind of came off of. If you watched my last video, I was in a stage of burnout temporarily, but this is what is helping me come out of it, and then still honoring those days where I could be stressed out and just not beating myself up for it. So let's talk about meal planning. This has been like the number one thing that has made my life so much easier. So basically every single Sunday, again, I look at my what phase that I'm in, and I will plan foods according to that. But that will be for the workshop, which again, you can sign up for if you are interested in. But basically what I'm getting at here is every single Sunday, I plan out every single dinner that we're going to have for the following week, all of my fiance's lunches that we make here, and also what I'll be having, or just like ideas of what I'll be having for breakfast and lunch myself. This has saved so much more time. I'm sure you have heard too about the zero method budgeting. I forget exactly what it's called, but basically by the end of the week or the end of the month, you want to have zero, so that all your money goes into certain categories and you have zero by the end of the week or end of the month. This is how we work with food, and this is how I have saved myself time. I've saved myself a ton of money, and my groceries don't go bad. And by the end of the week, when I go to the grocery store again, my refrigerator is completely clear, besides like stuff like sauces and like butter and like whatever else. I have nannied, for those of you that have been here watching me for a while, I have nannied for, oh my gosh, like 7 or 8 years now. And I want to say almost all of the families that I have worked for, they did not plan. So they would just go to the grocery store, they would grab a whole bunch of like different produce and everything like that. And there's been many times where I have watched their food just completely go bad, to like to the point of mold, and it's gross and it's a waste of money. And the thing is, if the family sat down just for 1 hour every week and planned dinners for themselves and for their children, their lives would be so much easier, right? And it's gonna save them so much money. And that's what I have found. And we are, me and Eamon are saving up for a wedding at this point. So what we need to get to a point in our lives where, I'm not spending extra on anything, because whatever I can save is going to go towards the wedding. So it's really easy, and it's every single Sunday. And if you need ideas, I usually spend like maybe a couple of hours once or twice a month, and I find recipes that I would like to try, and I keep all the links on a notes app, or every time I get a new cookbook, me and him will go through it together, and I'll dog ear all the pages that have recipes that I would like to try. So on Sunday, it's quick. It's just pulling recipes from here and there, writing the ingredients into my notes app so that I can kind of plan accordingly. And I either go to Wegmans or I go to Whole Foods, so I have the stores mapped out and broken down by category where everything is in both of those stores, depending on which one that I am going to. So it becomes much more simple, and again, you're not having food waste. So another couple of things that I have found that have helped me out tremendously are I actually signed up for Blue Apron. So I get Blue Apron 3 times a week with 2 servings. And we did try the Martha Stewart one. I think it's called like Marley Spoon for a little bit. I don't advise that. I feel bad, but Blue Apron is just so much better and healthier that I have found. So that's a huge help. And I utilize my slow cooker, my Instant Pot, and my air fryer all the time. And then every single morning, I meal prep. So I'll cut all the vegetables, I'll grate the cheese, I'll marinate anything. So it just makes dinner easier at the end of the day. So by you doing that prep work, you're going to save yourself a lot of time and frustration and food going bad at the end of the day. So once I get all of this together, I then go ahead and I make my weekly to-do list. And again, this is not the appointments that we had talked about before. So on Mondays, I'm automatically going to have that go to the grocery store. On Fridays or Saturdays, I'm automatically going to have that clean my house. But the thing is, it's everything else that surrounds those things that you kind of have to do as a bare minimum that end up going onto your to-do list. So for example, like I have to bring clothes that I need to donate to a donation bin, and I have to bring used books to a library. Those are things that should be on your weekly to-do list. They're not going to repeat every month, and that way, or every week, excuse me. So that way, like, you can have predictable things of what's going to happen every week in terms of cleaning and meal planning. But these new things that are coming up, you plan it for the week, and then on a certain day, like on a Tuesday, you can pick something off of that list. So that way you're not carrying around a to-do list and constantly not getting it all done every single day. You're just kind of picking and choosing things from the week to bring into like 1 or 2 days of the week. So I think you kind of get the gist. Let's talk about a couple of flower essences that I think would be beneficial for those of you that need an extra boost. The Flower Essence Cosmos is wonderful if you are lacking in creativity and an inspiration. Gaillardia, also known as Indian Blanket, is great for removing low vibe feelings, and it also works as a protection essence as well. So if you're picking up a lot of energy off of people, best to use something to protect yourself. And this is just because, if you are planning, but you're also like around like a bunch of negative people, a day that you should have high energy, you might have a lot lower energy. So it's good to have some protection. Indian Strawberry is great if you really want a childlike joy and more childlike energy, because as we know, their energy is nonstop until they crash, and we don't want to get to that point. But it's just kind of slowly bringing back that life back into your body. Morning Glory is great if you can't wake up and feel alert and ready to go, which you should be. You should be well rested. You should be alert, and you should be ready to get stuff done right in the morning. And so that's a great essence if you don't feel like that. Queen Anne's lace is great if you feel like your energy is scattered in all these different projects and with all these different people, and you kind of just want to concentrate on whatever you want to be working on instead of feeling so scattered. Plains Coreopsis is great if you have lost that inner warmth that brings like a sunshine to the soul. So if you have, like this is great for the winter or when it's like cold and you just kind of need to get up and go and be more motivated that day. This is a great essence to warm you up. Rhododendron is another great one for work-life balance and for boundaries. So if you need more of that in your life, that's a beautiful flower essence to help you out there. Tansy is probably my favorite that I have used. It's all about taking action. It helps get rid of lethargy and procrastination. It also gives you a boost with energy as well. And finally, I have a blend called I Choose Vitality Flower Essence. So that is 7 different flower essences that work with higher energy, with more well-being and more enthusiasm. So flower essences, I would say in this case, is just a form of energy management, as you would use something like the weather and the 4 phases of the woman's cycle as well. So again, like if you are having daily battles with feeling motivated, I would say, and I'm sure you know too, like lifestyle changes, food changes, herbs, and flower essences would all help you to get more energy here. But again, I just wanted to mention those flower essences in case anyone needed a little bit of that extra boost. So thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll put all the links down below. Thank you.